I think it's fair to say that this afternoon's announcement statement from Manhattan was a right royal surprise, not to say a tremendous shock, because you won't need me to remind you that Prince Andrew had indicated that he was going to fight this case and he was going to clear his name, and that case was due to be heard in New York in the autumn, and indeed depositions were supposed to be made next month. Even in the newspapers today, there were stories that his lawyers were asking for the original copy of the infamous photograph of him apparently with his arm around Virginia Giuffre when she was Miss Roberts, with Ghislaine Maxwell standing, smiling in the background. That picture allegedly taken by Jeffrey Epstein all those years ago. And we have to remember it was 21 years ago. Now we've got this statement that there has been a settlement, and that means, because it's a civil case, not a settlement that results in jail time, but results in the exchange of money. And as you so rightly pointed out, there are two elements of this. There are damages, that's the money bit. That goes to Mrs. Giuffre, who now lives in Australia. And then there is a substantial donation by the prince to a charity which supports victims of crimes of this nature. But there was, it's worth saying, no criminal case here. There was no felony alleged. This was always a civil case, and civil cases are about money.
Yeah, I mean, from Prince Andrew's perspective, I mean, he may well, at one stage, have wanted to go to court and try and prove his innocence. And I have to say, I do feel that the British press have sort of judged him guilty all the way through this. And it's been a pretty tough spot for him to be in. But surely this is the right decision in the sense that, you know, as you say, this civil case would have gone ahead in the autumn. Isn't this a way of just getting this all out of the way and allowing him perhaps to get on with the rest of his life?
Well, that's certainly the intention, and I would imagine that that is the very strong advice from Buckingham Palace on this matter, although they're saying absolutely nothing about it and would like to say that they are hands-off in this regard. But to get this out of the way before the celebrations of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee in the summer, that was obviously the intention. It's I think, however, a vain hope. There will be tremendous publicity tomorrow, and Prince Andrew is not going to enjoy reading it, I can assure you of that. And it won't end there, because as far as I can understand, there's no non-disclosure agreement tied up in this agreement, and that will leave Mrs. Giuffre free to publish books, make television programs, write articles, do indeed whatever she wishes to do, because this statement stops short of an apology, but the impact of it, the intent of it is quite clear. As you say, he regrets, in fact, he uses the word regret twice, his what I would call an abject failure of judgment to have maintained his friendship with Jeffrey Epstein, even after he'd been convicted and was a convicted paedophile. And it's as clear as night is from day that this is a very black day, a very bad day for Prince Andrew, and not a good day for the royal family.
No. Well, if there's no, as you say, if there's no non-disclosure agreement, then it won't go away, and that is going to be a problem. On the financial side of this, the Daily Telegraph are speculating that the agreement will be north of $10 million. I don't know how true that is or not. But presumably, one of the things Prince Andrew will now need to do is to go out and earn money.
Well, that's a very interesting question. The Daily Telegraph, being conservative with a small and a large C, is probably underestimating it. I've already heard one New York lawyer talking about $20 million. Now, where's that coming from? Yeah. We don't believe that Prince Andrew has got that sort of money in his back pocket, but maybe he has. The last time Prince Andrew worked for a living was when he was in the Royal Navy. And one might say it would have been a much, much better thing had he stayed in there and made it his whole career, as Princess Anne's husband, Timothy Lawrence, has done. And then at least probably he would have been out of the way of temptation or whatever went on in his life. And certainly it would have been better for him, I think, in all sorts of ways. It's very, very difficult because members of the royal family can never get involved in commercial undertakings without them usually falling apart and not satisfying their requirements, and certainly opening them up to questions, some of which they won't enjoy answering. It's a difficult thing. He remains, of course, the Queen's son. That won't change. Allegedly her favourite child. Those bonds are unbreakable, and they shouldn't be broken. They'll have to find a job for him. It's not like with the Duke of Windsor; they can't send him off to be the governor of the Bahamas or something of that nature. No, first of all, nobody will want him, and I don't believe there's any possibility at all. Of course, redemption is open to all of us, Nigel. We can all be redeemed at some stage, but it's going to be a long, 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 long road. And he'll have to do something like a John Profumo thing. He's going to have to wear sackcloth and ashes. He's going to have to work for a long time before there's any possibility of any sort of reincarnation, a new Prince Andrew coming back freshly minted.